Derrick Rose has officially retired from the NBA. What's going on, everybody? My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into the Bulls Report. Coming up on today's show, I wanted to give a full tribute to my favorite basketball player I have ever watched. So, a lot of memories, a lot of my favorite highlights, favorite games are going to be coming up on today's show. But before we dive into that, I want to get you guys involved. Type me a paragraph, type me a sentence, whatever it may be, but let me know, what is your favorite Derrick Rose memory? I got a ton of them, but if you guys can only pinpoint one of yours, I would love to hear it, as I'm probably going to, hop on my phone later tonight and just scroll through all the comments of all of your favorite memories for D Rose. So let me know your favorite memory for the youngest MVP in NBA history. But number one for me when just talking about my favorite D Rose memories, and this one's a little personal, but draft night. And I specifically remember what I was doing, where I was before this. So here's my story. So right now I am 24 years old. I'm turning 25 here in a couple of months from now, or actually in about a couple of weeks from now. But where I was at is I was actually getting dropped off for a baseball practice, and I remember heading into the draft. There's a huge debate of who should the Bulls take. Is it Michael Beasley? Is it Derrick Rose? They obviously ended up taking Derrick Rose on draft night, and I remember getting out of my dad's car before going to baseball practice when I was like 8 years old. And I remember turning to him, I'm like, the Bulls better draft Derrick Rose, because I thought it was so cool that he was a Chicago kid. And that's my draft night story, is as being a little kid heading to practice and literally turning to my dad. I have like a flash memory of this, and just being like, man, they better take Derrick Rose. They obviously ended up doing it. I remember I got off of practice, and I remember I was like, Dad, who'd they take? Who'd they take? Who'd they take? He told me Derrick Rose, and I remember I was so happy, because he was one of the most electric players in college basketball, one of the most electric high school players ever, and the fact that he was going to be able to play with his hometown team was just special. But then D Rose, second favorite memory, it's got to be his 2011 MVP season. And, obviously D Rose is the biggest what if in NBA history. And, a lot of our big reason for that is because of his 2011 MVP season. But what got him there? So his rookie year, he came in the league in 2008, 2009. He lit it up. He had a great rookie season, almost averaging 17 a night, 6.3 assists, and was pretty efficient. Obviously wasn't too efficient from behind the arc, but he was able to develop that in the later half of his career. Followed that rookie season up with his sophomore campaign. His points per game went up. His efficiency went up by a couple percentage points, and we really saw a Rose started to be blossomed here in the NBA. But then he got to his 2011 season, his MVP year. He was awesome, man. And people say this is an overrated MVP season, and I just kind of laugh at him, because, what he was able to do on both sides of the floor this year was special. And it's not like he had a superstar team around him, but he was able to propel this Bulls team to a 60-plus win season, averaging 25 a night, 7.7 assists, and, pretty efficient from the field, 44.5% from the deck and 33% from downtown. But this season that D Rose had, he was a great defensive guard, all types of memories, all types of, Stacey King calls I have in the back of my head. It was truly special. But number three for me is the iconic game winners that he has hit throughout his NBA career. Now, we think about the Windy City Assassin play. We think about the bank shot against the LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers. But, starting off with the Windy City Assassin play, the crossover, hits the step back with a second left, and he drills it. And we got Stacey King on the call going, the Windy City Assassin. Truly one of the more creative nicknames ever given out to an NBA player. And then this photo of D Rose mean mugging after he hit the game winner. Cross, step back, game winner. Taj Corver in the background going up, giving him a big old hug. And D Rose, just the face of an assassin, just mean mugging. Just like, I do this. This is my game. I hit game winners. It was awesome. But, a moment where I was truly happy for D Rose was the buzzer beater he hit against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this was after 2 major knee surgeries, and there was huge questions of, is he the same guy? How productive can he be? He was struggling in this game. Jimmy Butler actually had a massive performance in this game versus the Cavs. And again, this was a moment where I knew specifically where I was at. I was with a bunch of my friends in actually my basement, and after he hit this, you would have thought the Bulls won the championship. The reaction we gave, but the bank shot, and then D Rose just after, just standing there just like this, just mean mugging, just no big deal. I do this, like just the swagger, the confidence he played with. it was awesome, and this is one of my favorite memories of D Rose being on the Bulls. But we'll get to more D Rose memories and some of his brightest moments in the NBA here in a second. But first, I do want to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor. And if you guys head to factormeals.com/chatsports50 and use code chatsports50, you guys will get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code chatsports50 at factormeals.com/chatsports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Now, Factor Meals offers 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, so you will always have new flavors to explore. If you guys want to crush your wellness goals this month, Factor is a great way to do so, as they have dietitian-approved meals and ingredients you can trust. Now, treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet, shrimp, blackened salmon, and if you guys want to keep kitchen time to a minimum, Factor Meals are ready to eat in just 2 minutes, so there's no shopping, prepping, or cooking or cleaning up needed. So enjoy effortless support to your lifestyle by choose from 6 menu preferences to help manage your calories, maximize protein intake, and avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. So head to factormeals.com/chatsports50, use code chatsports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. Let's code chatsports50 at factormeals.com/chatsports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Now, we got to talk about the comeback story for D Rose because I felt like he had that. And obviously, he never returned to the 2011 MVP that he once was, but he still had some awesome moments after his ACL recovery. Obviously, just talked about the game winner versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, but there was actually a game, and I'll never forget where I was. It was my friend Xander and I, we were freshmen in college at the time, and we stayed up late watching a Derrick Rose Minnesota Timberwolves game because this man went and dropped 50 points on the Utah Jazz in 2018, and I really remember I was tearing up watching this performance because of just how happy he was. And it was D Rose, it was Tom Thibodeau, and he gave the Jazz 50 points plus 6 assists on only 31 shots, and he was actually 4 of 7 from downtown. But I remember immediately after this game, I watched these highlights for literally the next week. Like, I could not get enough of D Rose. I was honestly, rooting for the Timberwolves that season, or even when D Rose was with the Knicks in that one playoff run where they lost to the Atlanta Hawks led by Trae Young. D Rose was their leading scorer. So even though he wasn't able to get back to his former self, he was able to still get a good NBA career, and a guy that has just been through the most. His body just didn't hold up for him. Like that 50-point performance, man. I was tearing up, and it was just special for him, man. And and it kind of gets me to this last one, like on why D Rose is truly one of my favorite players ever, is just his mindset and just the person he was. I always felt like, he had the best interest of the team. He had the best interest of his life. And he also never made basketball his main priority. He talked about being a dad. He talked about being a friend and even a brother, mostly. But I'll never forget this quote heading into his MVP season where he pretty much called it. And he said, "Why can't I be the MVP? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why not. Why can't I do that?" And that just speaks to his mindset where it's like, I got all the God-given ability in the world. Why can't I go do that? Why can't I be the youngest MVP in NBA history? And obviously, D Rose went on and did just that. So let's close out today's show with this. Give Pooh his roses. Give Derrick Rose, some love down in the comment section. Just give me a rose. Type a rose, a little emoji. I want to see it flooded down below. And also drop your favorite D Rose memory as well. But if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's a handle right there, at Pat Sieps. Derrick Rose officially retired from the NBA. It is truly emotional for me today. So see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.